Back on the vibe for one last time. Got a wet sand and buff. I'm going to show you how to do that, or there's a bit of it. Gotta clean it off. It's 20 some degrees outside, so I'm going to do a kind of like a waterless wash. But first I'm going to do is I'm taking all of this double-edged tape off. It's a little bit tricky because this here is vinyl, this ain't paint. So what I'm trying to do is take this off, take off the glue without hurting the vinyl. So what I ended up doing, which I never thought would work in a million years, is my drill with a rubber eraser wheel. Just going over it real slow, and it's taking it off. It's marring the vinyl a little bit, but that should come out with a little bit of polish. Shouldn't be a problem. There's that one. Well, for these mirrors, I'm not quite sure what to do with them. If anybody has any suggestions, just let me know. I'm thinking lacquer thinner, really light with it maybe. I'm not sure. WD-40 and just keep scraping on it. I'm not sure. But I'll figure something out. Huge time saver, especially in those winter months here, 20 some degrees outside. I am not washing this thing. A little bit of rinseless wash. This is just from the front end. Oop. A little bit of rinseless wash in a bucket. Bring your rag out. I fold mine in fourths. Wipe it. Yeah, this thing just got hammered with bird shit. Flip it on another corner. Wipe it again. Coming clean. And just toss in a bucket. Rinse it out. Repeat. Alright, gonna show you how to wet sand and buff. Show you what I use. On this, I'm going to use 2000 grit. If it was super trashy and had runs all through it or something like that, I would start off right about 1500 grit. If it's black and it's a show car, like if you've seen my video of the 88 IROC or the 76 Trans Am, I started off with 1000 grit, blocked everything all down, got rid of all the orange pill, any little tiny imperfections. 1000 grit takes that out. Then I go from 1000 to 1200 to 1500 to 2000, 3000, then ultimately 5000 grit with the orbital sander. But on this, since it ain't very bad, I'm going to use 2000 grit. Then I'm going to go right from 2000 to 3000 grit. These ain't cheap, but nothing in it that is any good is cheap. And a little tip, instead of just straight water, I always found a little bit of detail spray works fantastic as a lubricant. Not just straight detail spray, but a little bit, water, and maybe a spritz of this, and it just cleans really nice. But let's get on and show you how to do this. Make sure you clean your blocks good. Like this one, I just took 80 grit off of it, so I'll clean them pretty thoroughly. You always want to use a block, unless it's something super convex, like in the crack of a bumper or something like that, which, what are you wet sanding there for anyhow? Doesn't make any sense. Put your paper, I line it up right with the edge. This is my favorite block. Do anything with this block. I'm going to show you another little tip too. Say if I was starting to use 1500 on this, then going up to the 2000, which this is. Water, like take a nice little palmful of water, but you want to go one direction, long strokes, a little bit of pressure, not much. Where's that detail spray? Lost it already. Winning. That detail spray smells. Helps clean the paper too, which is really nice. I said one direction. You don't want to be going back and forth in several directions, and I'll show you why here in a second. That's if this would be 1500 or something other than 2000 grit, because it go from 2000 straight to 3000. But if this was 1500, I would go from 1500 to 2000 grit. Clean this off here. I just unfold my paper out of it, use this as a squeegee. I don't know if you can see that very well. Let me see here. You see some of the trash that's in the paint yet, but for the most part it's coming out. But actually, let's get you up there. Yeah, that's just little bits of dirt. That's all that is. Dirt and orange peel. I'm not trying to take the orange peel out. I'd like to try to match the factory, which the factory has orange peel, which you won't get orange peel out the whole way with 2000 grit. That's what that's where you start with 1000 grit. Okay, now say this was all nice and flat. There was no dirt nibs, no nothing in it, and I wanted to move to 2000 grit from my 1500. Get my paper back on my block. Okay, I only went in one direction. That was with 1500. So what I'll do now is I'll get my 2000 grit and I'll go in the opposite direction. And what that'll help you do is whenever you're done sanding with the 2000, or looking to see if you're done sanding with 2000, whenever you squeegee this off, if you see any striations going this way, you know you didn't get all of your 1500 scratch out. So you could go from 1500 to 2000 grit, still have 1500 scratch in it, go from your 2000 to 3000 and still have 1500 scratch in it. There ain't no point. You might as well just try to buff on that 1500 grit, which it ain't very fun, especially with paint that's already cured. I'm gonna get this sanded down and we'll be right back. not perfect, but we're not looking for perfect. We're looking for just really nice. Anybody's going to look at this whenever it's buffed, and they're going to have a heck of a time telling that it was repainted. There's a couple little pieces that it's not worth spending the time. I mean, if it's your car and you want to, no problem. I get it. I do the same thing with my stuff. I would do this with 1000 grit and go through the motions and make it show quality, which for what this looks like, you could very well do that. No problem whatsoever. Got that all blocked with 2000 grit. I'm going to show you this little section of the hood, then I'll do a time lapse or whatever of doing the rest of it. All it is the front passenger side door, the front fender, the rest of the hood, the other front fender, and the other two doors. I'm not messing with the bumper. The bumper looks good enough. Like I said in the other video, the car ain't perfect, never was perfect, never will be perfect. So what I got here is a Dynabrade, just a little palm sander. I use this thing for everything. This is a hook and loop, which is just Velcro. I got a piece of 3000 grit on there. It's a used piece. I could get about a car out of a sheet of this. I mean, so I'm not sure how much life is left in this. It's pretty smooth, but it's 3000 grit, so you would expect it to be smooth. Gonna mist the pad with my detail spray. Gonna throw some water on the hood. I'm just gonna work little sections. This piece of paper might be shot. Let's see what it actually tells us. Oh no, it looks fine. Yeah, it's gonna look fine. I don't know if you can see you can see a little bit of a shine in that. You look at it pretty good. See if you can see any of your 2000 scratch, which that 2000, it's pretty smooth in the first place. You should be able to buff that out pretty easy. But I do this a lot. I'm looking for something that buffs like butter. Not looking to fight anything. Really don't want to fight anything. So let's keep at it. There's that. You see a pretty nice reflection in that. I mean, even whenever the water beads off of it, you're pretty set. But there's not very much that's left in there. See if I can find this piece in the camera. This is what I mean. If I'm having a hard time trying to find it, I'm actually looking for it, like really looking for it. There it is. I mean, you buff that and it's just gonna disappear. But yeah, like I said, it's not a show car. It's gonna be an everyday car for somebody. So this is perfectly acceptable. All right, guys. One thing I want to stress: always wear a mask. Especially whenever you do this. I mean, just cleaning the pad off, I'm covered in, I call it dander, because what I use whenever I do heavy sanding like this is a wool pad. I prefer a 2-inch pile, which is the length of the wool. I believe this is actually synthetic. I'm not sure if that's lanolin or not. What I like to use is a plethora of different compounds. This is McGuire's. This is Diamond Cut 2.0. I buy it by the gallon. Then after I go over it with that and make sure there's no more sand scratches in the clear, I go over it with this and a blue machining pad, foam pad, 2000 RPM, takes all your swirl marks, holograms, ultra fine scratches out of it. Then after that, polishing pad and brilliant glaze. But yeah, always wear a respirator. Do this little corner here. Start off slow so you ain't slinging it. And again, if I'm doing a whole car, I'll wear earmuffs. That's a lot for this little section here. I'm starting off with a dry pad. Once I get the pad loaded up with a little bit of compound, then I won't use nearly as much as what I just put on. Actually, that still might be too much even with a dry pad. Well, that looks pretty good. I'm not seeing any haze in it. But it's also worth mentioning too, is whenever you're polishing, or buffing, cutting, whatever you want to call it, is take note on which way your pad is spinning. And you always want to buff away from the edges. So if I was buffing, say right, I don't know if you can see, you can't see that. Okay, right along this edge here. I mean, you don't really have to worry about it a whole lot, but I don't want to cut into the edge. It'll tend to burn and possibly even take off the layer of clear. Then you'll be cutting into the base coat in the primer. You know, it'll look horrible. You want to cut away from the edge. Always away from the edge. That'll prevent a lot of that. But yeah, that's what that's going to look like. Let's get you up in there after I set down that buffer. Like I said, I don't want all of the orange peel gone. I do want some of it, but I do want a really nice sheen to it. And let me see if I can find that little mark again. There's that little dirt nib I showed you. See, almost disappeared. You can see it right there in the light. Right there. I mean, if you spot that, you got a better eye than I do. I got the other side wiped down. Wanted to show you the difference. That's the side that we just did. That's what it looked like. You can see all the, I mean, it even feels rough. I mean, it ain't trashy like it has road dirt or tar or anything like that on it. It's just, it has just like a haze to it. I mean, you could even see the definition of the light. If you could see that. I'll look at it over here. I mean, it's just like a mirror. As I said in the other videos too, that color, I mean, that's not a tri-coat. It just has so much metallic in it. It's really pretty to look at. It helps whenever you like what you're working on. I mean, if this was pink, I probably wouldn't even be doing this. But hey, I wanted to show you the difference between the two. I mean, there's a perfect shot right there. The light in the upper section, right up here. But, yeah, a little bit more. We're gonna just wanted to show you that little section there. I'm going to sand everything, get everything in 3000 grit. Then I'll buff everything out with the Meguiar's Diamond Cut and the wool pad. Then I'll buff the whole car with that. Then I'll go over it with the Perfected, the ultra fine machine polish with the blue foam pad, and just do everything in one process. That way you're not jumping around. Got the trash out of it. Slicked it down a little bit, not very much, because the clear already matched the factory clear. But a lot of this is judgmental work. It's not something, it's not like a head gasket, like you have to torque the head bolts in a certain way or anything like that. It's all on how you want it to look. This door here had a lot more orange peel in it than the rest of it, so that's why I slicked that down like the way I did. This back door was pretty nice. Like I said, it matches that factory clear coat pretty dang well. So just tried to blend your smoothness into your texture. All I need to do, here's the blend line there. That should disappear once it gets buffed. But all I gotta do now is go over it with the 3000 grit. Then it's ready for polish. I want to show you guys something here. I got this dinosaur flew in here whenever I think that was the first coat of clear. So I ain't gonna get him out the whole way. So just want to make it look a little bit better. Maybe just make it completely smooth. So I'm gonna take this razor blade. I'm just gonna, this might work, it might not. Don't really get a chance to do this too often, so just gonna just keep working at it. I'm gonna keep hitting his body. Ooh. Get this mostly flat, then I can sand the rest of it. And he's in there though. I got most of his one leg out. Jeez. Like I said, it ain't gonna be perfect. Not whenever you had that big guy in there. And in the first coat. If he's in the second coat, there's a chance. Tell you what, that's all the further I want to go with that. I'm gonna sand that down with 2000 grit. Then whenever I do the rest of this with the with 3000, I'll buzz that down with 3000 too. But it's low, it'll be fine. Just wanted to take care of that a little bit. Yeah, I'm done for the night. 7 o'clock. Well, got everything sanded down in 3000 grit. It's right about there-ish. Yep, right there. That's where clear ends. But everything's sanded down in 3000, exactly how I showed you on this section here. And that thing should look fantastic. I hope so anyhow. Well, oh yeah, that guy almost come out the whole way. Really surprised me. Yeah, can't even see him with the camera real up close. A little bit, you can see him. But yeah, there it is, guys. Gonna buff it out tomorrow. So, alright, so it's tomorrow, so that means I'm from the future. We got everything sanded down yesterday. Everything's down in 3000 grit. And what I did here is I took all of the porous plastic and rubber and I masked everything off down there. All these here, the antenna, both antennas, rear windshield wiper. That way I don't get any compound splatter on them, which it is a pain to get that off of there. And yeah, all we gotta do now is buff on it. Exact same process I showed you on this. So first stage is done. Got it all buffed out with the wool pad and the diamond cut. Wiped everything down with a wet rag and detail spray. Get most of the dander off. It's already pretty late. Had a late start today. So I'm gonna call it here for today. I'll be seeing you really soon for tomorrow. I got to go over this with swirl mark remover. Then I'll go over it with another polishing pad, and I'm probably going to use Brilliant Glaze on this. Adams polishes Brilliant Glaze, mostly because that's still fresh paint. I don't want to seal it with anything. So yeah, see you tomorrow. Next day, might be able to see some haze in that. Got to do a little bit more buffing. Wiped it down with some detail spray. It smells like pumpkin spice in here for some reason. But this side here, this door, this fender look fantastic. That's ready to go. But the hood, this fender, not so much. I'll go over it one more time. Little spot here I missed. Focus. There we go. This little spot here I missed. A little bit on the door right here. That's really the most of it, and right here. And it's just a little bit of a fade. And this back door here is pretty good. But like I said, I'll go over that one more time with the wool. I'm gonna do that off camera. It'll only take me about a half hour-ish. I'll go over it with some ultrafine machine polish.
All we got is time, so stay a while, stay a while. All we got is time, so stay a while, stay a while.
All wiped off. Doesn't look too bad. Color matched really nice. Oh, especially with the blend. Blend ended right about here. I can't see it with the naked eye, so you're not gonna see it. She shines. Got to do a final detail. Go through like all the cracks. These turned out nice too for what they look like. And I gotta clean out the inside. Then I'll show you what it looks like when she's done. As good as it's getting, by me anyhow. Finally done. Garage is a disaster, but I got it. I'll put some ladder rack on there too, so whoever buys it, they can haul ladders to a construction site or something. Even painted them. Not too shabby. Let me know what you think about it. Last video. And did brakes and rotors. Till next time, thanks for watching.